Good morning, everyone. My name is Maryam Khojasteh. I'm here today on behalf of the Food System Planning and Healthy Communities Lab. I am very honored and grateful to be given the opportunity to be here to have a conversation with you about food system and also to see so many familiar and also new faces in the crowd. So today I'm going to talk about what we mean by a sustainable food system, how we can get there, and also to share some examples from innovative works being pursued all over the country to build a more sustainable and a healthy food system. But first, I would like to clarify what I mean by a food system. When I talk about a food system, I am referring to a complex network of the practices, resources, people, and policies that make it possible for the food to travel from farm to your plate and also enables the management and reduction of the food waste. The food system has some direct and immediate outcomes, such as providing food for consumption or to generate food waste. But food system is important mostly because of its indirect impacts on the health of the communities and on the environment around us. Also, food system is responsible for the well-being and the health of the people and the workers that are engaged with the food-related businesses. For example, we know that in some sectors within food systems, such as food services, they do not pay fairly and they pay poorly. And we know that the low-wage workers usually have hard time affording healthy and unfortunately pricey food items. And we know that the people who have a poor diet, they are at greater risk to develop diet-related diseases such as diabetes and obesity. So it shows that food system is important because it impacts our daily life, but it is important because it is impacting the long-term health outcome of the communities. But unfortunately, despite all of this importance, it is usually absent from any political, social justice, or environmental conversation that we usually have. So as a result, we can see that many different sectors within food system are troubling or they have some problems. For example, in the food production side, we know nowadays that for the family, small or mid-sized farms, farming is not a profitable occupation anymore. It's like many farmers need to have a second jobs to be able to meet their own needs. And also we see this trouble in the processing sector because unfortunately processing facilities are in the hands of a few businesses, and because of that many small to mid-sized farms, they don't have access to the processing facilities, and it means that even if they grow so much, they cannot get their product out to the world for sale, and they have to serve a very small market. And also we see problems in the distribution. There is spatial disparities in the way that food has been distributed through the communities. Not all of us share the same experience in accessing to the healthy food. And as an example of that, we see many communities, even in our own city and our own region, that they don't have access to any food stores that provide healthy foods. But what they have instead, they had a high prevalence of fast food restaurants. They have a high prevalence of food stores that they only provide foods high in calories and low in nutrition. So all of this problem kind of shows that there is something not quite working. There is something wrong with the food system that we currently have. But what is the answer to that? What is the alternative? So we introduce a community-based food system. And what we mean by that is that we need to focus on the assets of our own community and to strengthen them and to be able to address some of the existing challenges with the conventional food system. So healthy, sustainable food system has many elements, but what I would want to emphasize on is the way that sustainability is defined within the food system. Because also, although it says that we need to sustain the environmental health, we should not exhaust our natural resources, but it also put an emphasis that it should sustain the health of the people who are also engaged with the food system, who are the very people who make it possible for us to consume food, such as farmers and workers. And it also put the emphasis on sustaining the economic viability of the agricultural sector. So if we think that the community food system is the answer, then how we can get there? How we can strengthen our own community food system? What are our tools? What are the ways to do so? So for many years, we can say that communities are always one or two steps ahead of their local government. They are usually the people who understand there is a problem way faster their own their local government, and they get engaged with some some community work, some non-for-profit organization, and some grassroots efforts. But we would like to emphasize that why we think local government has critical role in strengthening the food system. Because local government, first of all, have access to tools, resources, and policies that directly or indirectly are impacting the food system, but also local government can be the entity that can organize and manage all of these works that are being done already in the communities, but not connected to each other. So the tools that local government has, I listed them here, but the important one is plans, because in the United States, as you know, local government usually adopt a wide range of plans to outline their future action. But unfortunately or traditionally, food never has been mentioned in any of the plan. Recently, many municipalities are trying to address this issue. They are trying to either incorporate the food-related topics within the existing plans, or they're trying to have one standalone plan only dedicated to the food-related topics or issues. But plans are only giving us some ideas. Plans are giving us direction. They are giving us some thoughts. And the local government needs some implementation tools to be able to translate ideas into action. So the implementation tools can be regulation, can be some laws, and it also can be some programs or financial investment. And since we don't have that much time today, I'm only going to bring examples of 3 of these resources. The first example is from the city of Baltimore. I chose the city of Baltimore purposefully because at the time that they were trying to address their food system issues, they had a similar challenges at the city of Buffalo. So Baltimore is becoming a national model for the communities that they want to implement food policy initiative. And the reason is that they started their effort with a Baltimore Sustainability Plan adopted in 2009. And in this plan, they started with a very strong public engagement program. Their focus was to hear and listen and reflect to as many diverse voices as possible. And they started a very broad outreaching program, and they especially trying to train the youth and train the students, because they are actually the next generation who are going to use the resources. So after having many brainstorming sessions, they came up with the 7 different big buckets that can guide the city of Baltimore to be more sustainable and have a healthier food system. One of these big buckets is the greening section, which include and reflect to the voice of the resident and their concern in regards to accessing healthy food or the food production within the city boundaries. The plan also provide different strategies to guide the city, how the city can get to a healthier food system. The first strategy is talking about increasing the percentage of land under cultivation by removing the existing barriers, because unfortunately there are so many regulations in a way that how a land can be used by residents, and in many ways it just hinders their effort to grow any food or to at least sell the food that they grow within the city boundary. The second strategy is to improve the quantity and quality of food available at the food outlet by connecting the farmers, the local farmers, to the store owners, and to bring the local farms to the stores to increase access, especially for the underserved population. And the third strategy, they want to work with a big institution that they have the potential to place a large order for a locally grown food. They want to work with the public school, hospitals, and universities to connect them with the local farmer again to increase the demand for a locally grown food. And the last strategy that might be the most important one is to implement the recommendation that the Baltimore Food Policy Task Force recommended. The Baltimore Food Policy Task Force is supported completely by the government, and they provided 10 recommendations. And as one of their recommendations was to create and establish a food policy initiative. For example, we have a similar thing in the Niagara and Erie County, but it is not a part of the local government structure. What had happened in Baltimore is that this initiative is actually a part of the city of Baltimore structure, and for the first time in the United States history, they hired the first full-time food policy director that dedicated her time completely to transfer whatever had been proposed in the plan into action. So this is one of the key factors of success of the city of Baltimore in terms of addressing the food-related issues. And also there is a interdepartmental collaboration between Department of Planning, Transportation, Housing, and Public Health. And there is a mutual understanding that all of this work all together can create a healthier food system for Baltimore. So there are many examples of regulation and acts. Like, unfortunately, we have more regulation than investment in the way that we look at our food system. And what is the current trend within the municipalities is to modify the zoning ordinances, because in the United States, local government have the authority to regulate what you can do with your land, how you can do that, what you can grow, or in what way. So these barriers actually make growing food in the city boundaries very hard for the farmers and growers. What is happening right now is that many municipalities notice that it is a problem and then trying to address that by redoing and rewriting their zoning code in a way that allow people to grow food either in commercial districts or to install some processing facilities within the residential districts such as Sonoma County in California. But there is another type of regulation that can also address to the food access issues, not only about production, but also about how we can use the regulation to increase the food access. We can see in the Washington, D.C., actually, there is something named Supermarket Tax Exemption Act that waives some taxes and fees for the supermarket to go and locate in the neighborhoods that they already have problem accessing to the healthy food. Because what happened here is, like not here, pretty much all over the country, is that supermarkets do not have interest to go and investing in the neighborhood that they think they may not be able to purchase from them. But this actually tax exemption is trying to encourage the supermarkets to go and locate and provide healthy produce for the people who may not have access to. So I talk about plans and regulations, but there's also another way which is more common within the local government, is to support the programs or to provide public investment or financial support for the existing program. As an example, we can see the Healthy Corner Store initiative in the city of Philadelphia, which was established and supported by the Public Health Department. This collaboration is actually engaging the academia and the citizen and the community organizations, and to work with the more than 600 corner stores to add two line of the healthy food products to their stores. And what is interesting about this program is that they are also doing some marketing and advertising for this store. So, for example, if I accept to add apples and bananas to my store, they will go and advertise the name of my store as a healthy corner store. They will hand out some flyer throughout the city. They will give me some sort of certificate. So they will try to increase awareness that there is healthy food available at the corner store. And also when the customers walk into the stores, they are many ready to understand, easy to understand nutrition tags or nutrition information tags that help the customers to make better and healthier food choices. Another program or public investment is actually a program in the New York State named Fresh Connect program, which is unfortunately is no longer in run, but it was a successful program for the time that it was functioning. The Fresh Connect initiative's focus is to help the farmers, help the local farmers, but simultaneously help the consumers who do not have access to healthy food by bringing both of them and connecting both of them to the farmers market. So that they were trying to invest on the farmers market to either support them financially or to help to create new farmers market. As a result, 50 new farmers market was created because of this funding and because of this program. The Fresh Connect also provides some check for the people who are using SNAP recipients, and when they go to the farmers market, for example, if you use $5 on your SNAP benefit, you can receive $2 free to spend only on the locally and New York grown healthy produce provided at the farmers market. So they're trying to both benefit the farmers and also the consumers. But after the program was initially only for the farmers market, but it was so successful that they decided to fund any kind of creative any kind of creative ideas that can increase access to the healthy food. So they start supporting the mobile vendors. And actually, Massachusetts Avenue project, the MAP project in the Grant Street, their mobile vendor was funded by this program for a couple of years and serving more than 3,000 individuals in the city of Buffalo. But unfortunately, the funding has been cut, and they're looking for funding right now. So I talk about all of these examples and all of these ideas to see that what we can do for our own community and what we can learn from them. Fortunately, community of Buffalo has a great history of engaging with the food advocacy work or actually pushing for a policy change to have a better food system. But in this effort, the local government in the recent years are trying to join the movement with the community, and they're trying to address these existing problems. For example, they're trying to modify the zoning code, which names the Buffalo Green Code, and they're trying to make it possible for the people to grow food easier in the city boundaries, or they're trying to provide a longer lease term for the urban growers to make them feel secure about the land that they are growing food on. But at the same time, we may not have a standalone food plan yet, but through the work that the Bond Region Forward is doing, we are going to, we have a plan or a report about the food environment of the Erie County and the city of Buffalo. This plan actually doing a very comprehensive analysis of what is the challenges within our own food system and what are the opportunities for growth. And it tries to provide many recommendations based on our own opportunities and assets of how we can build a stronger and healthier food system. So I really encourage you to stay tuned for this plan, because probably it's going to come out soon. But besides all of this, what we can do as residents, I think we should be really mindful of food in all of the conversation, in all of the advocacy work that you do, in any discipline that you do. Please be mindful of how the work that we are doing is going to impact the people's access to food, and also demand it from the local government representative, from your state government representative, and the work that they are doing, how mindful they are about their policies, about their work and its impact on the people's access to healthy food. So thank you so much for your attention. I will be ready for your comments after the session.